Can I tell you something? I saw Dune 2.
Oh, you did? Nice. What'd you think?
I liked it for sure. I got pretty pulled into it. Yeah, pretty pulled into the drama. I think I liked it more than the first one, but they make a nice movie together, I think.
Yeah, that's one movie, really.
Like you, I'm not quite as like engrossed with it as maybe there were like some people who are like Dune crazy. There's somebody I know who is like, he's read every one of the books. He believes that Denis Villeneuve is like the first guy to ever understand the content. So he's crazy about it. He loved it. Loves that it's complex with what it's trying to say about power and about civilization. You really feel the weight of this story in this telling of it, which is awesome. I think that most everything about it works. I'm going to throw in with the people that didn't like Zendaya, not because she's a bad actress, but because I just felt like she was miscast. She felt like she was from a 2024 college campus. She didn't feel like she fits into this like ancient world. Like Timothy, I think, has like an otherworldly quality about him. And just about the rest of the cast, Josh Brolin's wonderful in it, and Batista, is a freakish guy, and everything about it is like, fantastical. And the things that are grounded in like ancient civilization and in religion, and then there's just like kind of this like harpy, who's kind of like irritated with her boyfriend throughout the movie. I found it kind of disruptive to what was otherwise working. People compare it to Lord of the Rings because they're both like fantasy epics that were written kind of around the same time and considered equally unadaptable with tremendous unimaginable amounts of lore. Maybe it's just the fact that it's so optimistic, but Lord of the Rings just really pulls me in. Like it just completely captures me.
Yeah, I only compared it to Lord of the Rings in like the technical, the costuming, the sets and stuff like that. But like you, the story doesn't... It's not my story. It's not my kind of story. This is not my kind of story.
Yeah, maybe just because it's so brutal or something. But I respect that about it. That's what it is, and so it's cool. I also thought that the way that they split, because this is one book, one story. The David Lynch one was one movie, right? There was a sci-fi miniseries too. So splitting this into two movies, sometimes there's the fear of like, well, will each movie work on its own? Like, could you watch Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers as one movie? Does that have a 3-act structure? And I thought this did. I thought like this holds together structurally as a movie, as did the first one.
Yeah, I think this one held together its own movie better than the first one, but...
I agree, actually. Yeah, because the first one did end kind of abruptly.
Yeah, it was kind of farted out at the end.
When Josh Brolin showed up, like halfway during the movie, spoilers, that was like a big breath of fresh air for me. He brought some like heart and some humanity that had been kind of lacking in the movie up until that point, I thought.
Yes, it gets pretty sterile and like in its own and stuff.
Obviously, the riding of the sandworm and it's aesthetically, a feast.
The Barry Harkonnen planet is awesome. I love that weird style.
Is it Austin Butler? Is that his name? The guy who plays Sting?
Sting, yes. Yeah, Austin Butler.
He was kind of doing an impression of Stellan Skarsgård, right? That kind of the Cassian Andor thing.
Cassian Andor.
Say Cassian. Say Andor. Say Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor.
These days will end, Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Would you like some fresh meats, my darlings?
I thought that all really worked. And it was cool, too, because that thin, more skeletal, brutal villain, as compared with Batista, I thought that was a nice interplay. It's actually the smaller guy is scarier, that kind of idea.
But Marge, that little guy hasn't done anything yet. Look at him. He's going to do something, and you know it's going to be good.
Cassian Andor. I thought it did a good job of like attending to all the characters. It's like one of the big things I'm looking for in a movie. If you're going to introduce me to somebody, are you going to flesh them out? Are you going to tell their story? Are they going to fit into this thing, or are they just there to, otherwise I'd say cut the characters, if they don't have a place. But I thought everybody had a place. Was that Anya Taylor-Joy playing his sister, like in the future? Was that what that was?
Yes, that is what that is. It's not just like the little toddler who had like a ADR.
Yeah, exactly. In David Lynch.
Oh, he is the Kwisatz Kill this child. She's an abomination. Kill her.
And you know what? They did do the inner monologue thing towards the end. Somebody started inner monologuing. And I was like, whoa, this is interesting.
The Bene Gesserit mother. The legend. Where is your son?
Ninja. It has to be. But they don't exist anymore. Nobody knows except me.
And I when I finished the movie, you know, which if it finishes on this extremely dour note, right? This like, okay, we have the new brutal dictator of the universe, who's going to lead us into terrible war and terrible famine and death. He started his own massive war cult. I was just thinking back to the David Lynch one where I was like, didn't it end with they were all like, yay, he's Jesus.
Congratulations!
Yeah, this movie I think got the point
Much better.
of the story a little better.
And I went back and I watched just the ending, just like the last 5 minutes or something, and it basically it hits every single beat that this one does, like down to like the dialogue, but it does it way faster and
way less choreography,
and it ends on this overly optimistic note. And I think I said it last time, but remember that Project Greenlight show where they hand the directors different scripts? The script is always the same, actually. It's always the same dialogue, but they're like, okay, you know, give me your directorial interpretation. And I'm like, I'm really seeing that here, where it's like the same exact dialogue, the same exact like beats, where like he gets stabbed, he stabs him back, and there's just way different drama going on in the Denny one. Obviously, I would probably watch it again, not eagerly, because it's long and there's a lot and it's heavy.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I loved watching it in theaters. That was so good. I felt like so bad watching the first one on like my iPad while I was taking a shit. And so I really did a disservice to the first part. So, yeah.
For me, I realize kind of unconsciously, one of the things that I judge a movie based on is, was there a scene or a moment that I wanted to go back and rewatch? Like Guardians 3 when Rocket's buddies are all killed and he has that scream, and like you want to go rewatch that sequence and study it, you know, or the finale where, you know, the dog days are over stuff, which is all emotional. You want to go and like kind of revel in all of the, you know, moments that were built up to that.
Yeah. I like watching the Joker, the ending with Robert De Niro, that whole last scene there. Oh,
and I think movies are kind of defined by those memorable scenes, because a lot of a movie, even, you know, and there can be really good exposition or build up or building a suspense, but a lot of movie is just kind of getting you to a place. It's getting you to a destination. There are movies you love that you're like, yeah, but like 40% of it, I'm not necessarily eager to rewatch, you know, but like 60% of it, I fucking am crazy for. Comedies are different in that way, where like theoretically every scene should be funny. And so every scene should be, you know, memorable and cool and revisitable. But I'll say that for me anyway, there wasn't like a scene in this that I really was like eager to go back to and rewatch and like relive.
That's true.
I'm not sure why exactly, but really good. This is an A movie, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
So well done. Yeah. I'm glad I saw it.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.